Other interesting cultural news, you have a fat activist named Jae'Lynn Chaney having a petition for the FAA to make airlines to have plus size seats. Which, yeah, if your carry-on bag is 1 ounce over too much, you'll be charged a bunch of money. But if you weigh as much as a Hummer 2, that's okay. Yeah, the lack of logic with airlines is ridiculous. I don't think they have any, to be frank. And this fat activism is growing, pun moderately intended, and it's not good for the health or culture of America, where, yeah, we've fallen so far. It's ridiculous. You look at, old videos from the, back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, kids doing PE exercises were in better shape than most people today, which is quite sad that our culture has decayed so much. We are the most obese, lazy countries on the planet. Now, this comes to us thanks to Define L's saying, quote, "What do you think should be done here?" And here you can see this famous fat activist who goes all over the world complaining about how I believe famously last year she was complaining about how hotel towels weren't the size to cover a Humvee rather, because they couldn't cover her. Which, again, it's one of those instances where there are some people in the world, and I always have to have a caveat. I have no disdain. I mean, if you are someone who has medical ailment or there's some outlier with a health condition, there are some people by default who will be a little overweight. I understand that. It's rough. I know I've met some folks in my life who have certain medical conditions. Those do exist. Don't get me wrong. On average, for the most part, most Americans are gluttonous and fat because of their lifestyle and their choices. And I'm going to head off the comment section right now. It is not only money. It's also just where the first rebuttal to anyone when you say we should get in shape, people should eat healthy, they always say, "Oh, I can't afford to," which is a rudimentary, lazy answer. Perhaps it's lazy not, doing push-ups or going to the gym, or just doing calisthenics. Again, you don't have to go to the gym to be healthy. Push-ups are free, sit-ups are free. A chin-up bar is sub $30 these days. It's an instance where even when I, in my life, have lived under the poverty line, I still ate healthy because I'm a little bit of a health nut. I remember back when I was starting my career, I mean, a 2-pound bag of carrots from Walmart was $1.99 plus the extortion, the sales tax. Unfortunately, now I think it's about $2.49.99, or yeah, $2.49. But you can get them pretty cheap. Again, the raw materials for healthy foods you can get at places like Walmart. If you food prep, you save a lot. Eating out, yeah, it's gonna be hard to eat healthy. It's a big waste of money for the most part. And yeah, I just want to caveat that. I understand there are some people who have health issues, but for overall, I think it's a culture issue and people are just not making healthy choices. And this is what happens when you have, I would argue, zero accountability. And yeah, let's see what she has to say. It's a little insufferable, obviously, but it's about 26 seconds long, so it's not, I'm sure it'll feel like an eternity, but it should get over relatively quick, which she's right now crammed into an airline, which, okay, I understand. Some airline seats are way too small, but she makes Chris Farley look like a pinnacle of human athleticism. She makes him look healthy.
Airlines make their products smaller every year. Then they blame us for not fitting. If your car got smaller...
And again, you shouldn't be, you should not be proud of this. So she is, I guess maybe it's kind of comical because she's drinking like a small soda can. So it's not the 12 ounces, a smaller one. But yeah, it's one of the few times you probably are happy you're not watching on the Rumble or the YouTube. Because again, she has multiple chins and she is taking up the whole seating area of the plane. I can understand why this is uncomfortable for her. She probably should have to pay for first class or definitely multiple tickets. And yeah, she's literally, her back is touching the seat and her front is touching the seat in front of her. There's the only room is on the y-axis. There's a little room above her head before she hits the top of the fuselage.
Every year, wouldn't you be pissed? Seats are getting smaller. Seatbelts are getting shorter.
The seatbelt things, I don't know about that. Talk about the cultural decay of America. There's an instance where sometimes planes can't take off because they don't have the super fat seatbelts. So people in America need a seatbelt extension, which I didn't even know was a thing when I was a kid. And those have only grown in popularity, pun obviously intended.
And they pack us in tighter so they can make more money. But when we can't squeeze into their tiny seats, it's somehow our fault. I'm done letting
Yeah, in terms of making money, yeah, spoiler, they're not the most profitable industry out there. Two of the biggest things that cause airlines to go bankrupt, historically speaking, are fuel costs and unionized labor that drive up the labor costs way too much. So there are reasons they have to cram so many people in there. It's because, again, and we've bailed them out multiple times, it's not exactly the easiest business to run. And then, of course, top all that, all their tech issues they seem to keep having. Yeah.
Airlines make us the problem when it's them causing it. Airlines.
And so now they want to petition them to get larger seats, which she's taking up 1.5, almost 2 seats there. And again, she's well above, even for American, she's big. And this went pretty viral. I got 2.1 million views as well as 5.6 thousand likes. And again, she's basically going around bullying hotels and telling everyone the world should acquiesce to how she is. Instead of culturally saying, why don't we talk about why does the U.S. spend so much money on healthcare and pharmaceuticals, and yet we're one of the most unhealthy nations on the planet? Is it because of our sedentary lifestyle where most of us sit in front of a computer all day? Is it because maybe the food that we eat, or the choices we make there, or the lack of time, or rather, strike that, because we choose not to make time to go to the gym? I'm a big fan of, winners make the time, so to say. And yes, it does sometimes mean getting up at 3 a.m. to get your stuff done before work. It's one of those instances where it's a big cultural thing, pun intended, of course, yet again. And I think we should talk about, how can we get America healthy again? How can we, culturally speaking, make it so that we're not giving this woman accolades and cheering her on? And there are some people that are, don't get me wrong. Like, how do we just come together and say, hey, why don't we all work a little bit harder, make ourselves stronger mentally and physically? Get people to read a book again, which I know is a rare thing. I think even in my circle of friends, I might be the one or two people actually buy paperback books. Don't get me wrong, e-books are good as long as you read something. But I know even that's going down dramatically. Same with church and religion. There are many variables, I think many ways in which culture in the United States is decaying. Now, going to the comments, one of the top ones comes from Jif and Let Die, say, quote, "That's a normal sized soda can," which I think is a picture of a normal gal next juxtaposition to her. Is it though? I thought it was a mini can. I don't know. It did get 67 likes. The stupid shall be punished. Very specific profile name. Has a picture of the Joker, says, no one is coming to save you. This is 100% your responsibility, getting 69 likes. Nikki says, quote, "She has other serious issues to focus on." Is this the same gal?
Just because I'm fat.
From the TikTok?
Just because I'm fat, that doesn't invalidate the things that I say.
She died.
You ready to get supersized?
She died too.
Today I've got the big Fruit Loop.
He's dead.
Join me on my Fat Positive radio show.
Which didn't last long because she died.
Yeah, that's a big issue. Statistically speaking, you're going to die sooner if you're overweight. Again, it's heartbreaking. Well, that wasn't supposed to be a pun, but I guess it ended up being a pun. But it's the number one preventable thing in the United States we die from is byproducts of being overweight. I mean, and I've had friends who have lost weight, and again, everyone's different. I think on average, guys give each other a little shit, and you kind of bully them just a little bit, and it encourages a lot of guys to go to the gym. I think Bill Burr is the most famous example of talking shit to his audience and having many use cases of them going healthy, go to the gym. Ladies, I would say on average, positive reinforcement is probably the best methodology to help them. Again, I'm a big fan of couples going to the gym. That's one of the coolest things you do. Back when I was in a relationship, I love doing that. It's a great way to push each other and really build each other up. I love seeing that out there. And since it's where, there's that, it was a couple months ago where, a lot of fat activists died before they hit 40 years old. Which, again, it's terrible because so often it's preventable. Like, just change your diet a little bit and just exercise. Again, exercise you can do for free. I mean, so many calisthenics exercises in which you're only using your body weight. Again, you can do sit-ups, push-ups. I mean, if you're really getting really good at it, you can do one-arm push-ups. Even if you're just starting to get in shape, you can do the sit-ups from your knees. Like, walking around most neighborhoods is free. Well, free everywhere if you're in America. And you could get to running, get to hiking and climbing. Like, there are so nearly unlimited options, rather. And it just takes, and again, everything adds up in the aggregate. I'm a big fan of that methodology and mentality. Because again, just push yourself a little bit each and every day. And after a year, you'll be shocked how far you've come. So, I hope we get back to that mentality. You also have someone by the name of Mary Do saying, quote, "It's your fault, Karen, I'm fat." And it's a fat cat getting 96 likes. You have Buck Nisidi saying, quote, "Let's make this 100% equal. All tickets should be sold by the pound." And it's a picture of a large gal on a scale, juxtaposition to a picture of a suitcase and a scale, which, I mean, culturally speaking, I think there'd be a visceral backlash, especially in America, because everyone feel like they're shamed, which, I mean, part of me thinks we need to bring shame back to an extent, because business-wise, if you look at, the money that airlines are spending, technically, I see the business use case of charging people based on their weight. Because again, you're charging someone more based on that package or their suitcase they're using. That's no different than them being 300 or 400 pounds. And again, so those instances where pounds dramatically reduce your fuel economy. I mean, getting to the automobile industry, on average, about every 100 pounds you could remove of weight of a traditional gasoline vehicle, that on average increases fuel efficiency by 1%. That's why it's such a revolutionary thing for Ford Motor Company to change from making the F-150 steel mostly to aluminum mostly. And they removed like 700 or 800 pounds. And just by going to aluminum, and they got an 8% increase in fuel economy, which is huge. So I'm actually surprised. Maybe we'll see that in our lifetime. But yeah, airlines, technically speaking, if you really want to crunch the numbers, I think they should. There'd be a really large backlash, pun intended. But when it comes to the cost, these people are costing them more because it's decreasing the efficiency of the plane with a weight increase, and they're burning more fuel because of it. Now, that picture did get 603 likes as well. You also have Marine veteran saying, quote, she needs a C-5 Galaxy. It's one of the ginormous jumbo jets that the military uses for transporting like Humvees and tanks. Got 58 likes. Someone by the name of I Can Amir says, quote, seats have gotten smaller over the years, but, quote, asses have gotten much bigger too, getting 15 likes, which, this is an example where two things can be true at once. Airlines, again, under great stress of being the industry they're in, they have decreased those seats time and time again. And yeah, there's a reason I would rather, freedom, and defending myself, there's a reason I'd rather drive 13 hours across America. Well, plus, also, who doesn't love driving a stick shift and windshield time? But there are many reasons, one of them being the pain in the ass of the airline industry, why I prefer to drive rather than fly. Now you also have Rob Coates saying, yes, we do blame you for not fitting. I don't want you to be unhealthy and uncomfortable, but you did this to yourself. And there's her side view drinking, looks like a Sprite. Not low calorie, mind you, just regular Sprite. And 469 likes, which, yeah, don't get me started on how much sugar they put in that crap. And that being said, if you exercise enough, you have a calorie deficit, you can eat, I don't recommend it, but you can eat pretty much wherever you want. Michael Phelps famously ate McDonald's and had a 10,000 calorie a day diet when he was at the pinnacle and peak of his training. But it's because he's burning 10,000 plus calories when he was, training for the Olympics. So again, it's, partially the fuel you put in your body, then how much are you putting in? And with a can of soda, it's like, what, on average, 48 grams of sugar in that thing from high fructose corn syrup, which usually tastes like crap anyway. Don't get me started on that. For me, when I do indulge maybe once a year, cane sugar, nothing, if you actually want to enjoy it, but I partially digress. You also have Ricky Bialik saying, quote, 20 years ago, people this size were not as common. 40 years ago, it was quite rare to see someone with this size. 60 years ago, it was exceedingly rare, almost non-existent. What's going on here? Good question. Getting 287 likes. Yeah, it's one of those things where someone it went viral on the Facebook a couple years ago, and there's a picture of someone from it's pejoratively known as the freak show in the circus industry. I'm pretty sure they rebranded it for PR reasons, but back then, someone who was morbidly obese, it was a fascination because no one saw that. They actually had that in the circus. Nowadays, it looks like, just average American. It's not a good thing. It's not just costing us lives, but it's fiscally costing us as well in healthcare, energy, and resources. So, I have a couple of pictures of RFK Jr. just looking disgusted. Getting 493 likes for that. Some people saying, wow, LTN saying there are options, and there's a picture of some horses being transported in an airplane, and that got 1.3 thousand likes. That's one of those liked ones. Jeff Blake says maybe you should just keep getting bigger. It's a picture of RFK looking disgusted, getting 471 or RFK Jr. And again, I liked it. Oh, jeez, this is terrible. Well, I'll read it. Anthony Scott says, quote, "Arg, there be the only answer." There's an old vintage painting of a harpoon, a whale hunter, and they throw the harpoon, and the other picture is her with the harpoon in her, though no blood, so it's not too distasteful. It got 68 likes. And again, for so many I would say a decade plus, the U.S. is leaning into fat activism, and you can't dare judge anyone, or you can't dare critique anyone. Call me hopelessly optimistic, but I don't know. I feel like we're right close to rounding a corner where people are saying enough is enough. We need to all get better. We need to read more, exercise more, work a little bit harder, and some might dare say make America great again, make it political. But I do think I think culturally we're getting there. I think enough people are fed up with it, and I hope enough people acknowledge that there are serious health issues correlated with this. So, and again, maybe we'll see disincentivized from a business perspective, because last year went viral where Southwest Airlines, there's a leak in which there's a quote-unquote life hack where if you are comically large, well, dark humor gets comical, and you took up the size of 2 seats, if you called, they would give you that second seat for free, which that's literally incentivizing that health thing, that lifestyle. Again, some people can't help it. I understand that. We're talking about averages today. But again, that one business decision, I mean, just a couple things, maybe it'll make a difference. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.